Well, all right. Just finished voting, so this is my post-voting element. I was talking to Marcus Roberts on his article on horror comic books on Facebook. I say I'm talking, but I'm typing to somebody. We don't talk anymore. We type anyway. So today's topic is the impact of Christianity and horror stories. This is Halloween. This is October, Halloween month, horror month, whatever the heck you want to call it. This is the unofficial theme of the whole month. So this is the impact of Christianity on horror stories or horror, the horror genre. A little bit of it is diversity too, in terms of expanding what is considered horror and the horror genre itself. And it was talking about, we were talking about a little bit of the devil and Satan and how that is not so popular or common or occurring so much in horror stories. Now, it also made me reflect a little. If you go back in some of my past videos, because I have not organized them. When I put them on my hard drive, I save them. But when I put them on my hard drive, I only save them the way they save on the phone. I don't rename them and organize them by any form of subject. So one day I'll go through them all and listen to them and be like, okay, that's what I gave that particular name. But anyway, I talked maybe more than a couple of times about how I create horror characters, monsters, and the killers. And many times I go at it with the Thanos approach, in a greedy way, a self-centered way, but I don't go in it in an evil, devilish sort of way. I don't even think personally that evil and bad things are inorganic, that things are just born. Maybe it's organic, but I use the wrong word. But I don't think things are just born bad. I think evil is a reaction to things around us. Just like good is learned, I think evil is learned, that we come out blank slates, like unprogrammed robots, you know, and we learn our behavior from there on. And doing that, a couple of things happen. One, we have to own the evil in our world, meaning we have to accept that we created it or made it in some shape, form, or fashion, that it just didn't happen, right? I think believing that God or Satan created it is a scapegoat for not accepting our responsibility in its cause, right? So, that being said, the Christian philosophy is that there is a Satan, there's a hell, and there's a devil. That the devil is in hell, and Satan is the other name for the devil. And the devil made me do it is the scapegoat for owning your responsibility. And if you want to create a monster, just saying it came from hell is enough explanation in the Christian context. But now we live in a world where, sheesh, people are questioning their Christianity, they're leaving their Christianity, they're adding on to their Christianity. However, their Christianity in their mind and their philosophies is not as exclusive as it once was. So, therefore, when it comes to horror stories, the writers have to explain their monsters that they never had to explain before. They have to do it in ways that they never had to do it before. And that's crazy, but I have always been doing that, and I think it's good because I think it's more realistic. Now, whether you can explain some killers in real life and some bad people in real life or not, doesn't mean they don't have an explanation. So I understand that there's some crazy motherfathers out here, but that doesn't mean I can explain them all. You know what I'm saying? So when it comes to writing horror characters, yeah, I think you have to go that extra mile and try to figure out why Freddy does what he does. Now, some people might misinterpret understanding a character's motives for approving of them, and some explanations are approval do lead to approval or justifying or condoning, but I don't think that is always the case, because like I said, I do think these things have explanations, and the people have clear motives when they're doing them. I don't think they just do them and there's no explanation for them. And I think because you can explain something and understand the motives, you can also stop it. You know what I'm saying? So you can intervene, you can have an impact on it. So those are all of the things that I think, and I think it's beautiful that they have it. I think it's more realistic. It moves things forward. I remember the movie Psycho. The movie was scary on its own, but when they did the TV show series, or they did the backstory and they tried to explain why he was that way, I think for some people they weren't as scared by it anymore. And I think in general, I asked myself this morning, I think I'm venturing off, but fuck it. I mean, forget it. Let's go there, right? Because this is what you listen to writers for. I remember this morning I asked my wife and myself, I thought, what am I scared of? What should I be scared of as a man, right? And then as an intelligent human being, what makes me scared of certain things? One of the other things I posted today was like, what's your 5 scariest movies? And I was like, you know, sometimes the unknown is the biggest factor in being scared. And then once you've known, you know it, you're not scared anymore. So sometimes once you've seen the movie, it's not scary anymore, because now you know how to kill the monster, or you know what it was that was going on. So I asked myself, what am I supposed to be scared of? You know, I'm scared of Jaws, but once I realized what was motivating the fish to kill and to feed, I wasn't scared anymore, right? So I don't know what I should be scared of. Should I be scared of ghosts? No, I accept ghosts now. They're ancestors, right? I talked to some paranormal investigators, and they told me that, you know, most of these spirits aren't even doing bad things, right? So I'm not scared of ghosts anymore. I might be scared of people because I don't have my gun on me, or that crowd is rowdy, you know, or they may be, you know, they may have a gun and they may catch me, and, you know, I get scared of what they'll do, you know, but I'm not walking around scared of people. Am I scared of aliens? No. Now, I might be scared of viruses, right? Those seem like those can do some nasty damage, but it's not necessarily virus only. I'm scared of the effects of the virus. So I don't even know what I'm scared of, right? Or what I should be scared of. I think the beyond the unknown, somebody that's scared fear can be contagious. So if you write a character that's scared and the character gets scared, then the people that read the story might get scared too. Now, there's stuff that I don't like. I ain't scared of them, like slimy feeling and textures. Like in the movie Raiders of the Lost Ark, or no, it was another Indiana Jones, Temple of Doom, right? In Indiana Jones Temple of Doom, the lady had to reach inside the hole in the wall. Inside there was all insects and gooey. Yeah, that might be scary, but it's not a scare. It's just I don't like it, right? And then there's zombies and stuff like that in those movies. They be pulling the people apart. I don't like looking at internal body parts of human beings. I don't like it. So even in that, when I was putting my horror movies down, I don't like a lot of gore, because I don't like a lot of gore, right? So I don't like it in movies either. So therefore, you have it. It's not going to be one of my top horror movies, because I like to be entertained. So even in my horror movies, if I don't like them, they ain't going to be on my top 10 or top 5. But if I like them, they may not be scary, because I don't like what I don't like. It's really hard to put around. But my horror movies were movies that I actually enjoyed, even though they might have scared me a little bit. Like Freddy Krueger's Nightmare on Elm Street scared me, but it was entertaining at the same time. Poltergeist scared me, right? I started thinking of, damn, what's buried under my house? What's in the house? But it entertained me at the same time. I like Dawn of the Dead. That was another one that was on my list, because zombies scare me, but when that little girl jumped up, I was entertained and scared at the same time. And it wasn't a lot of gore. I understand they had to have it, but it wasn't a lot of gore. What else was on my list? Of course, Jaws. I'm petrified of the ocean. I understand the shark, and I know it's stupid, but I'm still scared of it. I'm scared of the woods, but there really wasn't a movie. Like Blair Witch played on it, but I didn't really enjoy the movie so much. But I'm scared of being out alone in the woods. You know, I don't even want a house in the woods. By myself, we got to have a whole group of us. I feel more safe in a crowded city than I feel in the woods all by myself. Have no idea. I grew up in the suburbs, so that was in the middle of both, but I'm not, you know, the woods. You know, my wife put Texas Chainsaw Massacre down as one of her scariest movies, and I think that's accurate. Even though Wrong Turn might have been more modern, the old 70s Texas Chainsaw Massacre does the job good enough for me. That speaks to it. I even have, you know, comedians and friends that artists that I used to book in different weird parts of the country. And one of the funny stories was, this guy is from Brooklyn, now is in Kentucky, and his car breaks down, or he gets lost, and he got to pull up to a house. And he's like, dude, I do not know what's in this house. And I'm like, yo, it's a house. But I feel the fear, because I would be scared too. You know what I'm saying? But I'm not as scared as if I was. It's a different fear than walking down a dark alley or walking through a neighborhood where I don't know anybody. I might be scared because I don't know what these dudes is going to try to do, but driving through a Texas neighborhood, oh my God, a desolate neighborhood, you understand? Where, you know, you can't call for help. Are you kidding me? What? So, I don't know how I wandered from dealing with Christianity and fear, but let me bring it back. Anyway, those are some of my individual fears. I think what happened is, when we started questioning as a culture, right, American culture, Christianity, and asking answers and dealing with it more intellectually and academically, right, as opposed to just spiritually and religiously, we needed more physical information from it. And because like one of my people I used to listen to, 2006, I think he went off the deep end now, but I used to listen to Michael Savage, who's a right-wing radio host, or conservative talk radio, whatever they call him now. He used to always say, a atheist who does good is better than a Christian who does good just to go to heaven. And I also think that applies to not doing bad, right? A person that is scared of hell as a motivating factor is not as good as a person who's just doing good just because it's good. I mean, I'm not helping you because I want to help you, all right? I'm not helping you just because I want to go to heaven. You know what I'm saying? And I think that's a little insincere. Even though to the person who's receiving it, it don't really matter why they're doing it. You know what I'm saying? They just happy that somebody's giving them food. But I'm a considerate person. I may not be a Christian. You know what I'm saying? Because some of these religions, specifically Christian, you got to look at people sideways. You can be like, yo, wait a minute. Why are you doing this? You know, what do you fully believe? So, and then the last factor, I'm going to just take it a little overtime. I lost my Christianity in 95, 96. When my father got sick and he passed away, I stopped being as Christian as I was once. And I started telling people maybe 5 years after that. And then around a little bit after I started telling people, they were like, what are you doing? You know, you just can't be nothing. And I was like, I do believe in something. I don't know what are the parameters to describe it. So I said, before I learn Chinese philosophies and Indian philosophies, sheesh, let me learn a Native American philosophy or African philosophy. And so I started learning Yoruba. And what I learned in Yoruba, very much like voodoo, right, in Haiti and in New Orleans, is that there are different deities than what we have in Christianity, right? It's different than Greek philosophy. It's more like Egyptian philosophy. You have ways of understanding different things, and nothing is essentially all bad, and nothing is essentially all good. Everything is capable of being used for whatever purposes that you need. So you may have a God that's strong, right? Or a deity, because they're not gods. You may have a deity that's strong. You may need that strength in a strenuous situation where you have to be strong. Let me give you, you have to lift up a car, or you have to deal with mental pain, right? But being strong and forceful in a period where you need to be sensitive and soft, dealing with a little kid, you may scare them off. But essentially, it was the use of that energy that was the wrong thing, as opposed to it being the entity. So it was the application of it. So I think that is what impacts people's approach to horror, and what scares them is that they're moving away from the conceptual parameters of Christianity, right? Let me keep my hands in frame. And moving to something that has a different type of parameters. So, and that's really all it is. All right, I'm over time. I went into religion. Sheesh. Hope you didn't think I'm pushing any religion on you, because I don't want to do that. But I did need to talk about it, because I do think it has an impact on horror and what scares people. And maybe I'll do something else about this, okay? All right, talk to you later. Peace.